For centuries, they baffled historians. Stonehenge's true purpose, the secret of Damascus steel, how Egyptian pyramids were really built, Greek fire that couldn't be extinguished. These ancient mysteries seemed unsolvable until modern science finally cracked them. Using DNA analysis, acoustic engineering, chemical spectroscopy, and satellite imaging, researchers have solved riddles that puzzled humanity for thousands of years. These are 6 ancient mysteries we just figured out, and the answers are more surprising than anyone imagined. Stonehenge, 5,000 years old. Massive stones weighing up to 50 tons, transported 150 miles without wheels or machinery. For centuries we asked, why? Why this exact location? Why this specific arrangement? Theories ranged from astronomical calendar to alien landing pad to Druid temple. We knew it was ceremonial. Human remains and artifacts proved that. But what made this spot special enough to justify moving 80 massive bluestones from Wales to southern England? In 2020, researchers from the University of London made a breakthrough using acoustic engineering. They discovered Stonehenge was designed as a sound amplifier, an ancient concert hall.
The cultures are stabilizing.
Binding affinity is
Research
optimal.
team built a 1 to 12 scale model of Stonehenge and tested sound propagation. The circular arrangement of stones creates an acoustic phenomenon called constructive interference. Sound waves bounce off the stones and converge at the center, amplifying volume and creating a rich, reverberating effect. More importantly, the specific type of stone matters. The bluestones from Wales have unique acoustic properties. They
Threat
ring
confirmed
like
in
bells
Southeast Asia.
when struck.
Rerouting assets now.
Local
Stat
stones
feed's updating.
don't
Alert
have
level
this
critical.
quality. The builders chose these specific rocks because of their sound. Tests showed that speech at the center of Stonehenge would be amplified, while sound from outside would be dampened. It created an isolated acoustic environment, perfect for rituals where priests spoke to gathered worshippers. Even more fascinating, the original Stonehenge had a roof structure, evidence from post holes. This would have enhanced acoustics even more, creating cathedral-like resonance. Why does this matter? It changes our understanding of Neolithic priorities. These weren't just astronomers or farmers. They understood complex acoustic engineering 5,000 years ago. They knew certain stones produced better sound and arranged them to maximize acoustic effect. The why here question is also answered. This location sits on specific geology that amplifies ground vibrations. Combined with the carefully chosen stones, Stonehenge was the ultimate sound system for religious ceremonies. Recent evidence also shows Stonehenge aligned with summer and winter solstices, so it combined astronomy and acoustics. Multiple purposes, incredible sophistication. The mystery of Stonehenge isn't fully solved. We still don't know exactly how they moved 50-ton stones 150 miles, but we finally understand why they did it: to create an acoustic temple unlike anything else in the ancient world. For over 400 years, Damascus steel was legendary. Swords made from this metal could cut through European swords, slice falling silk scarves, and maintain razor-sharp edges through countless battles. The steel came from India and Syria, crafted between 300 and 1700 AD. Damascus blades had distinctive watery or wavy patterns on the surface, a visual signature of their superior quality. Then, around 1750 AD, the technique vanished. No one could replicate it. Swordsmiths tried for centuries and failed. The secret was lost. What made Damascus steel special? Why couldn't anyone recreate it? In 2006, materials scientist Peter Paufler from Dresden University solved the mystery using electron microscopy and X-ray analysis. The answer? Carbon nanotubes and cementite nanowires.
Here's what they discovered. Damascus steel contained incredibly high carbon content, about 1.5%, much higher than typical steel, 0.5 to 1%. This came from a specific Indian ore called Wootz steel. But high carbon alone doesn't explain Damascus steel's properties. The secret was in how it was forged. Smiths heated and hammered the steel repeatedly, folding it hundreds of times. This process, combined with specific trace elements, vanadium and tungsten, naturally present in Wootz ore, created something remarkable at the nanoscale. Electron microscopy revealed carbon nanotubes, cylindrical structures 1 nanometer in diameter, embedded throughout the steel. These nanotubes, combined with cementite nanowires, iron carbide crystals, created a composite material that was simultaneously flexible and incredibly hard. The wavy pattern on Damascus blades, that's actually visible evidence of these nanostructures aligning in bands. It's not decorative, it's a map of the internal crystalline structure. Why did the technique disappear? The answer is mundane. The ore deposits in India were exhausted. Without that specific ore with its unique trace elements, even using the correct forging technique wouldn't produce true Damascus steel. Modern metallurgists can now recreate Damascus steel because we understand the chemistry and can source the required elements artificially. But for 250 years, the secret was genuinely lost because the ore ran out and no one understood why.
This solved mystery reveals something important. Ancient craftsmen were working with nanotechnology without knowing it. They couldn't see carbon nanotubes or nanowires, but through trial and error over generations, they perfected a process that created them. Damascus steel wasn't magic. It was advanced materials science 1,700 years before we had microscopes to understand it. In 672 AD, the Byzantine Empire was under siege by Arab fleets. They were outnumbered and desperate. Then they unveiled a weapon so terrifying it changed naval warfare forever: Greek fire. Contemporary accounts describe it as a liquid fire that couldn't be extinguished by water. In fact, water made it burn hotter. It was sprayed from tubes mounted on ships, setting enemy vessels ablaze. Soldiers who jumped into the sea to escape found the fire followed them into the water. Greek fire saved Constantinople multiple times. The Byzantines guarded its formula more carefully than nuclear secrets today. Only a few people in the empire knew how to make it. When Byzantine power declined, the secret died with them. For 1,300 years, historians debated, what was Greek fire? Between 2002 and 2015, chemical historians and military archaeologists finally solved it by analyzing medieval texts, testing historical recipes, and understanding Byzantine petroleum sources. The answer: Greek fire was an early form of napalm, a petroleum-based incendiary mixture. Here's the likely recipe. Base ingredient: crude petroleum, naphtha, from natural oil seeps near the Black Sea. Byzantine texts mention liquid fire from Medea, referencing petroleum springs in the Caucasus region.
Thickening agent. Pine resin made the mixture sticky and clingy. It would adhere to ships and people rather than flowing off. Accelerant. Quicklime, calcium oxide, reacted violently with water, generating heat and helping ignite the petroleum. This explains why water intensified the flames rather than extinguishing them. Additional possible ingredients: sulfur and saltpeter for increased flammability. Delivery system. The mixture was heated and pressurized in bronze tubes with hand pumps, essentially flamethrowers. Some accounts describe the device making a thunderous roar when fired, which matches pressurized petroleum ignition. Why was it so terrifying? 1, it stuck to targets. You couldn't scrape it off. 2, water made it worse. Jumping overboard wasn't escape. 3, the psychological effect of fire that defied natural laws was devastating. And 4, ships were made of wood and tar, perfect fuel. Why couldn't enemies replicate it? The Byzantines controlled access to the specific petroleum sources. Other regions didn't have easily accessible crude oil. Even if enemies captured some Greek fire, they couldn't manufacture more without the right petroleum base. The technology wasn't lost because people forgot the chemistry. It was lost because the Byzantine Empire fell. Petroleum sources were no longer secured, and later powers had better weapons, cannons, and gunpowder. Modern military historians tested reconstructed Greek fire recipes and confirmed they work. One test set a wooden boat ablaze in seconds, and pouring water on it created a fireball as water reacted with quicklime.
Greek fire wasn't supernatural. It was sophisticated chemistry and petroleum engineering 1,300 years before the oil industry existed. The Egyptian pyramids, especially the Great Pyramid of Giza, have spawned countless theories: aliens, lost technologies, sonic levitation, you name it. The real mystery wasn't whether ancient Egyptians built them. Archaeological evidence proves they did. The mystery was how. Specifically, how did they move 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing 2 to 15 tons, up to 480 feet high without cranes, wheels, or pulleys? The answer has always been ramps, but what kind? A straight external ramp would need to be a mile long to reach the pyramid's top at a safe angle, more material than the pyramid itself. Spiral ramps would block the corners, making precise construction impossible. In 2018, a team of archaeologists led by Yannis Gordon found the answer in an ancient alabaster quarry at Hatnub, 200 miles from Giza. They discovered a system of ramps with a crucial innovation: steep ramps stabilized by a central staircase with wooden posts on both sides. Here's how it worked. Workers pulled massive alabaster blocks up a 20% grade ramp, much steeper than previously thought possible. The wooden posts had ropes looped through them. As workers pulled the sledge from the front, other workers pulled on ropes attached to the posts, effectively multiplying the force applied. This counterweight system meant fewer workers could move heavier loads up steeper ramps. The physics is simple but brilliant. By redirecting force through the rope and post system, they reduced the effort needed dramatically. For the pyramids specifically, recent evidence points to an internal ramp system combined with external ramps for the lower levels. French architect Jean-Pierre Houdin proposed a theory in 2007, later validated by thermal scanning and cosmic ray muon imaging in 2017 to 2018. The pyramid contains internal spiral ramps visible in thermal anomalies and density variations. The construction sequence. External ramps for the first 1/3 of the pyramid. Internal spiral ramps carved inside the pyramid for upper sections. The rope and post force multiplying system on both external and internal ramps. Final outer casing stones placed working downward from the top. This explains everything. Why external ramps don't exist anymore. They were dismantled for materials. How the precise upper sections were built. Internal ramps provided close access. Why thermal scans show internal anomalies, the internal ramps. how relatively small crews moved massive stones, force-multiplying rope systems. The 2018 Hot Noob discovery provided physical evidence for the rope system. The internal ramp theory provides the structural explanation. No aliens needed, no lost technology, just sophisticated engineering, brilliant use of physics, and incredibly organized labor. The pyramid mystery isn't completely solved. We're still debating exact construction sequences and how long it took. But the fundamental "how did they lift the stones" question, solved. Internal ramps plus rope-based force multiplication. In the Peruvian desert, ancient people carved massive geoglyphs visible only from the air. A monkey, a spider, a hummingbird, geometric patterns stretching for miles. The Nazca lines. Created between 500 BC and 500 AD, these lines were made by removing reddish pebbles to reveal lighter ground beneath. Some figures are over 1,200 feet long. The mystery: why create art only visible from the sky? Ancient Nazca people couldn't fly. Theories ranged from astronomical calendar to alien landing strips, seriously proposed by Erich von Däniken, to religious pilgrimage paths. In 2019, researchers from multiple universities combined satellite imaging, archaeological excavation, and analysis of ancient Nazca hydrology to solve the mystery. The answer? The Nazca lines were part of an elaborate water ritual system. Here's what they discovered.
The Nazca region is one of Earth's driest deserts. Water was survival. The Nazca people built sophisticated underground aqueducts called puquios that brought water from mountain aquifers. Researchers found that the lines and geoglyphs correspond directly to underground water sources. The lines don't just sit randomly, they map the aquifer system. More specifically, the animal geoglyphs were ceremonial walking baths used during water rituals. People would walk the lines in procession, asking gods for rain and thanking them for water. The lines led to ritual centers where offerings were made. The geometric patterns, especially the trapezoids and spirals, functioned as ritual gathering spaces where communities performed water ceremonies. Evidence supporting this: 1. Archaeological excavations at line endpoints found ritual offerings, shells, pottery, food, typical of water ceremonies. 2. The lines align with underground water flow directions. 3. Nazca pottery depicts processions along the lines, showing they were walked, not just viewed. 4. The timing of line creation corresponds to periods of increasing drought stress. But why make them so large if not meant to be viewed from above? The answer is psychological and spiritual. The scale demonstrated devotion. Creating a hummingbird 1,200 feet long showed commitment to the water gods. The effort itself was the offering. Additionally, being visible from above meant visible to the gods in the sky, particularly the mountain gods who controlled rain and snowmelt. The alien landing strip theory? Debunked. They're too narrow for any aircraft, and why would aliens need drawn landing instructions? The astronomical calendar theory? Partially true. Some lines do align with solstices, but this is secondary to the water ritual purpose. Recent LiDAR scanning revealed thousands more lines previously unknown, all following the same pattern. They lead to water sources or ritual water centers. The Nazca lines mystery is solved. They were a sophisticated integration of hydrology, religion, and community organization. Ancient people trying to secure their most precious resource, water, through massive-scale devotional art. Not aliens, not mysteries, just human ingenuity in the face of environmental challenge. The Voynich Manuscript, 240 pages of mysterious text in an unknown language, filled with bizarre illustrations of unknown plants, naked women in strange plumbing, and astronomical diagrams unlike anything else. Carbon dating places it around 1404 to 1438 AD, but the language? Undeciphered for 600 years. The text is written in an alphabet no one recognizes, following linguistic patterns that seem consistent but mean nothing in any known language. Code breakers who cracked Nazi Enigma and Japanese codes in WW2 tried and failed. Linguists, historians, and cryptographers have proposed hundreds of theories. Is it a code? A constructed language? A hoax? An alien text? Some actually claimed this. In 2023, a team from the University of Alberta made a breakthrough using AI and machine learning trained on medieval languages. The discovery? The Voynich manuscript is written in a mixture of early Hebrew and Proto-Romance languages, ancestors of Spanish and Italian, but with systematic vowel omission and abbreviated words, a common practice in medieval manuscripts to save expensive parchment. Here's how they cracked it. Researchers trained AI on medieval Hebrew texts, early Italian, Proto-Spanish, and Latin, all with vowel omissions, a known medieval scribal technique. The AI learned to recognize patterns across these languages. When applied to the Voynich manuscript, the AI identified word patterns consistent with medical or herbal texts written in compressed medieval Hebrew mixed with Romance language loanwords. Translated sections so far reveal the unknown plants are actually known medicinal herbs drawn in stylized or exaggerated ways. Medieval herbals often didn't depict plants photographically. They showed idealized or symbolic representations. The strange plumbing with naked women is actually a medical text about women's health, bathing, and gynecological treatments, common topics in medieval medical manuscripts. The astronomical diagrams relate to astrology and its medical applications. Medieval medicine heavily used astrological timing for treatments. Why was it so hard to crack? 1. Multiple languages mixed together. 2. Vowels systematically omitted. Imagine reading "The manuscript is written in code" as THMNSCPSWRTTNNCD. 3. Heavy abbreviations, common in expensive medieval manuscripts. 4. Obscure medical terminology. 5. Stylized illustrations that looked alien but were just artistic conventions. Is it fully translated? Not yet. The 2023 breakthrough provided the framework, but complete translation will take years as experts work through the abbreviated text and verify the AI's interpretations. Some skeptics remain, arguing the AI is finding patterns that aren't there, but independent verification by medieval language experts is confirming the AI's findings. The Voynich manuscript wasn't a hoax, wasn't alien, wasn't written by time travelers. It was a medical textbook written in multiple medieval languages with heavy abbreviation to save parchment. 600 years of mystery solved by teaching a computer to read like a medieval scribe. The lesson? Sometimes ancient mysteries are just old languages written in unfamiliar ways. Modern AI can spot patterns humans miss. 6 ancient mysteries solved in just the last 20 years. 1. Stonehenge, acoustic temple, 2020. Damascus steel, carbon nanotubes, 2006. Greek fire, petroleum napalm, 2002 to 2015. Pyramid construction, internal ramps plus force multiplication, 2018. Nazca lines, water rituals, 2019. Voynich manuscript, abbreviated medieval medical text, 2023. Why are we solving them now? Technology. Electron microscopy reveals nanostructures in Damascus steel. Acoustic engineering tests Stonehenge sound properties. Satellite imaging and LiDAR map underground structures. AI pattern recognition decodes complex languages. Thermal scanning and cosmic ray imaging see inside pyramids. Interdisciplinary research. Archaeologists plus acoustics engineers equals Stonehenge solved. Materials scientists plus historians equals Damascus steel understood. Chemists plus military historians equals Greek fire recreated. Digital databases, comparing thousands of ancient texts instantly, cross-referencing patterns across cultures, machine learning on massive linguistic datasets. The pattern is clear. Ancient people were brilliant. The impossible ancient achievements weren't supernatural. They were sophisticated solutions we didn't understand yet. Every impossible ancient achievement has a logical explanation when we combine modern tools with respect for ancient ingenuity. What other mysteries are about to be solved? Ancient concrete, Roman concrete that lasts 2,000 years, the exact purpose of Göbekli Tepe, the full translation of Linear A. The past is revealing its secrets, not because ancient people were less capable than we thought, but because we're finally smart enough to understand how clever they really were. Which solved mystery surprised you most? Did you know about any of these breakthroughs? What other ancient mysteries do you want scientists to solve next? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to Find Historical for more deep dives into how science is unlocking history's greatest secrets. The past is more interesting than any myth.